Hi, I'm Brian Icenhower, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the role and the job description of a real estate administrative assistant. Now, initially when an agent actually hires their first administrative assistant, that person is going to be actually performing the roles of what could be as many as 2 to 3 to 4 administrative assistants on a much larger real estate team. But when you're first starting out and you make that first hire, that person's going to take on a very wide array of tasks and duties to make a very diverse job description. So up here we've got a little list of the 4 major categories of an admin assistant and what they cover. And you can see that they take a lot off the plates of the real estate agent. See, in a perfect world, after you have a fully trained administrative assistant, the lead agent really only should be doing 4 things. They should be lead generating, doing something to proactively get business. They should be showing property, assuming they have not yet brought on a buyer's agent. They should be negotiating contracts, getting offers accepted, and submitting offers. And then also, they should be going on listing appointments. Everything else in the typical traditional solo agent's day should be shifted to the administrative assistant. We break those down into 4 major categories. And those categories are very crystal clear. The first category is listing to contract. So from that point when an agent goes out and takes a listing, that package is then handed off to the administrative assistant. And at that point, in a perfect world, with a fully trained, high qualified, talented assistant, that should be handled all the way until we start getting offers. Okay? So that assistant then takes the ball from there. She coordinates all the showings. She coordinates the staging. She coordinates the getting the signs up, the lockbox on, contacting the sellers every single week proactively, giving them feedback, information, setting up open houses. So they are the client care coordinator for the listings. Now, of course, they can always call the listing agent should they have a question, but a really high top talent administrative assistant will provide that care proactively so that the sellers never feel they need it. And once they get an offer accepted or an offer start coming in, we bring the listing agent back in, or the lead agent, excuse me, back in to negotiate that contract, as we said before, back and forth. So once we get that negotiated back and forth with the help of the assistant, then we have acceptance. And once we have acceptance, we scoot over to our second category. We go from contract to close. We hand the actual signed agreement back to the assistant. The assistant then coordinates everything to the closing. That can be everything from coordinating the loan, coordinating things with the title company, coordinating the inspections, possibly even at the point of negotiating the repairs with a really high quality, talented individual, and sitting at the closing table as well. A high talent hire will ultimately be able to take away some of those tough duties, like negotiating repairs and inspections and the closing process themselves. Those are typically two of the job descriptions that are the hardest to give away, but they're handling all client communication, lender communication, title communication as well. And that the lead agent only knows when it actually closes, possibly stops by and says a little thank you to the clients. But good hire will enable that. So that's your transaction coordinator side. So ultimately when we do split this job in half, because you have so much business, because you're able to lead generate and obtain such a high level of business that the administrative assistant can't handle all of this, we'd actually possibly hire a second person which handles the marketing admin side. But for now, this initial hire is handling it all. Then we've got the marketing side. This is primarily the core duty on the marketing side is really handling the client database. That's staying in systematic, constant touch to stay first of mind with all of the agent COI, with all of the vendors, with all of the database management. With the exception of some personalized phone calls from the lead agent, most of that can be handled, whether it's mailers, emails, drop-bys, thinking of you cards, Christmas cards, whatever it may be, sports schedules, magnets, whatever's happening there, that's leveraged the assistant and they're handling that marketing arm. This can also include property flyers, it can also include website management, any other type of proactive lead generation activity as well too. They can do a lot of your client follow-up, calling your closings 30, 60, 90, 120 every year, just to ensure that everything is going well, to offer them professional vendors. Those are all different ways of asking for business by providing customer service from the administrative end as well too. That'd fall in your marketing category. Then you've got your general administrative. This is really a catch-all. It should certainly include tracking the agent's active profit and loss statement, so we know all the money that's coming in and all that's going out. So we can look at kind of a dashboard of the economic model of any agent's business as the year goes on. It can be hiring, firing additional help, helping with that process. It certainly could be paying any bills and handling the money flow back and forth too. Anything that would take that lead agent away from lead generating, showing property, taking listings, and negotiating contacts. But in a nutshell, if your administrative assistant is not doing all four of these things, typically you are. And if you are, then you're not going to have time to generate new business on a regular basis, and you're not going to have time to actually grow your business. So it's very key to make sure we shift that all these four things are being done, and more importantly, that it's not being done by the lead agent. So your administrative assistant job is a detail. Thank you.